Hey, what's up, ladies and guys? Hey, my Stihl chainsaw stopped working. It stopped working last year, and the wire broke on the coil. And I do believe the same thing happened again. So let's take that apart and see if we can get some spark back there. On the last video at the end, I was cutting firewood back there, and it just wouldn't start. And I have a feeling the wire came off on the coil. So it happened last year again, and I have a feeling it just happened again. So let's take that apart. It's still 039, and we'll see what we can find out. So I just took the pull cord off, and here's what makes your spark. And look what I found. There'd be a broken wire. Ugh. All right, well, looks like I know what I'm doing tonight. So what I did was I just put a new wire here on the top, and it goes that way, and it just stuffs down in there and over to the side. That wire came off of this pigtail here, but the wire was getting too short. It's been repaired before. So anyways, so I pulled the flywheel off, and you just gotta be very careful. It's keyed right there. Last year, actually, my flywheel key actually sheared off after 25 years of use. So I ended up buying this on eBay, actually. And the way you take it off is you just tap on the crankshaft right there ever so softly, and you pull up at the same time on this with your hands, and just tap. Like I used this little tiny hammer here, and I was just tap, 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 while I was just holding up a little up pressure on this, and it comes right off. So now I gotta line the keyway up, put the bolt back in. This is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You may have to use like an impact to get it off, because it does stick and it does turn the engine. So you hold this, and I just used my little Harbor Freight impact wrench there, and it came right off. All right, so let me line the keyway up, put this back on, and we'll see if it starts. When you put your flywheel back on, check the manufacturer to see what the torque spec is. I'm not sure what it is, so don't go by what I do here. But it is, I did use a metric 13 millimeter deep socket to get that off. And then basically I use a business card or a sheet of paper to get this right there, the point right there, so it doesn't hit this magnet right there. Oh, that's not the magnet side, this is the magnet side. And it spins freely. So I'm gonna put the pull cord back on, and that goes up and under like that. And then there's just 4 screws. This is the only one that has anything special about it, because it just has that bushing for the handle. And let me put it all back together, and then we'll see if it starts. All right, so I got the pull cord on. I turned the light on my camera so you can see. Put the pull cord on, and being that it's winter, it's 30 degrees, 20 to 30 degrees outside. I open this up, and you see right here, it shows, let me see if I can zoom in. Really not a good pic. There you go. You can see a snowflake right there. And then that side, I do believe, is the sun. And in the sun, in the summer, I do believe that means have this closed. Here's a cover. So it'll be blocked, and it goes in, and it blocks that hot air coming to the intake manifold. But in the winter, you want a little bit of heat, so I just popped it off, and then that way it'll suck some of this hot air in through the screen right here and into the intake. So I do believe that's what it means. We're gonna try it. That piece went on nice. The other problem I keep having is my vent tube keeps blowing off, and I keep losing them. So I got to order more. It's on now, right there. But when I first started the saw using it, it blew off and I lost it again. So I got to order a couple more of those. They're pretty cheap. So I just replaced that wire, repaired that wire. This wire was broken on the coil. And let me finish putting it back together. We'll go outside, see if it starts. All right, let's see if it starts. Got the choke on, brakes locked. Uh-oh. My flywheel fell off. I didn't tighten my flywheel up. All right, well, my flywheel didn't fall off. The exact same thing that happened last year happened again. The keyway broke. So let me turn my light on so you can see. All right, well, I did tighten the thing up, but look, that's my keyway on my used flywheel. So now I got to scramble to find a new flywheel because I need to get this firewood cut up ASAP. But it fired right up. It started right up until the keyway broke. All right, well, let me do my homework and I'm gonna try to find another flywheel. Or I'll just take it off my 029. My 029 I do believe has the same flywheel, but we'll check. Okay guys. That's the flywheel with the broken keyway. I bought this used off Amazon. And as you saw, once I fixed the coil wire, it broke. Well, I could buy a Stihl brand, a name brand one for this for, I think it was like $80. Or I could buy two for $20 a piece roughly of the aftermarket knockoffs. So I bought the aftermarket knockoffs because the name brand one did me no good. Anyways, so we're gonna hope this one, and I have a spare. And I also bought more of those little gas tank vent tubes because for some reason they fall off. If you start dripping gas and you're tipping the saw around, check your vent tube. It's right next to you gotta take the air cleaner cover off right here. And there's a vent tube right there. And they have little Allen screws in there to give restriction and stop the fuel from tipping out. So anyways, I bought 4 more of those to stick in the toolbox. But anyways, I'm gonna put the new aftermarket flywheel on. And from what I went through the entire owner's manual of the thing and like 90 pages of it. And I could not find anything that said the torque specs. So on an arborist website, I was able to find on a arborist chat or whatever those are called. I found they said 16 foot-pounds is what you tighten this to. One guy said 30, but that's a lot. It's only a little 1/2-inch bolt. So that's a lot, that's way too much. So I'm gonna do the 16 foot-pounds. I have my torque wrench because I figure, you know what? When I first put this back on, I said, you know, I'm just gonna tighten it. Well, it broke. So I'm gonna try doing it to 16 foot-pounds and see what happens. But I did fix the coil wire. I think I showed you that already. Let me show you that again real quick. And this is in case you lose spark. This is what you check, and this is how I fixed it. So if you remember, it's an 039, and the 029 is the same, just smaller. It's the same owner's manual too. So this wire is the one that broke. So what I did was I actually added a whole nother wire, took the old, cut the old one off. It actually broke off of here. And I put a whole new wire on from there to there. And that's it. So if you don't have spark, take your flywheel off and check these wires because they are real close to the flywheel, and the flywheel is spinning fast here, obviously. So this could vibrate into it. So I put a little extra wire on and I tucked it down toward the intake. That's the intake right there. And this is obviously the head of the machine. All right, so let me put the flywheel back on, get this thing going. We got firewood to start cutting up. I have a whole bunch of projects going on. So this little tiny work table has a lot of parts on it. I have parts from my 06 F350 still on here because that's still a project. And we took the transmission out of the Corvette, so that's sitting there. So we got to start rebuilding that this week, I hope. All right, so I'm going to line it up. Here's that. Here's the keyway. Here's the keyway on the crankshaft. I'm going to put it there. I am not a Stihl mechanic or chainsaw mechanic. So don't do it. as I do it. I'm doing this just to help seat it so that the bolt doesn't have to push it down so far. And here's the nut. I gotta find a way to hold this still. There's got to be a secret to it. I don't want to damage it. There we go. And I got the click on the torque wrench. Austin just opened the door. That was that noise. So it's at 16. There you go. That's what it says it's supposed to be at. I use 3/8 drive. Let's hope that's right. Worst case scenario, I do it again. Well, Austin's gone now. That's good. He's headed to the gym. Here we go. Okay, so this is up to torque. And now the other thing you have to do is, see this gap right here? Let me turn my light on the camera so you can see better. I'm gonna end up hand holding it, but let me show you this right here. This gap right there is what you gotta watch. You turn the flywheel and one of these will have a magnet on it. Right there, that one right there. And what you gotta do is you gotta make sure you have a nice tight tolerance in there. And it cannot touch. That cannot touch this. So the way you do that is you just loosen this screw up, loosen this screw up. And what I do normally use is like a business card or a piece of paper folded in half, you know, doubled up or tripled up. And then I'll stick it right in there nice and tight. You know, so it gets the curvature right there. And then just tighten these down. So the gap is good, so I'm not gonna mess with the gap, but I think this is ready to go. I will put the pull cord on. Here's a pull cord. I'll put that back on. And once again, the only special screw on the pull cord is this one. It's just because it has this little bushing on it because of the handles right there. So let me put the pull cord on and we're gonna see if this starts up again. I already have a new chain on it, so if this works, then it's just a matter of moving all the equipment outside and getting ready to start cutting more firewood. Okay. The flywheel, the pull cord actually grabs these little bumps in the flywheel. So that's what this, when you feel this grab, that's where that little dog that swings out when you pull this out, that grabs, that's what it's grabbing. It's grabbing this. It's grabbing one of these little dogs in there. Well, it's turning over. So we should be good. Let's see if we can start this thing. In a couple of days, we already have the transmission out of the Corvette. It's sitting over there. So one of these days, pretty soon, actually I'm waiting for the parts. We're gonna tear that transmission apart and make an attempt to see if we could rebuild it. Learning experience. You can't break something that's already broken. All right, bar is locked. Strobes on. All right, let's go get some firewood done. You got to be careful when the chain's on, or obviously when you fire a chainsaw, because they shoot oil. So if I had faced it toward the car, it could have shot oil all over the primer paint job on that car. So that's why I aimed it toward the gas can, or the trash can. All right, so we gotta go outside, start moving some equipment around, making room to start cutting wood. Well, as you can see, I jammed all the vehicles in here. This is the firewood we got to cut. We got to cut and put it in the trailer, in the dump trailer. And the splitter's set up back here. And you can see there's snow on the ground. So we got to start moving things because I had to stuff everything here to fit 9 cars here. 9 cars in a driveway for Thanksgiving. So my driveway is going to get full real quick. I just got to decide where I'm parking that beast for a while, because that eventually is just going to get parked where all this wood is, I do believe, until I decide to work on it again. All right, let me go get some keys. All right, all the equipment's moved out of here, all the trucks, trailers. Now I have my workspace back. If you remember, I got the log splitter. Well, it's probably gonna be the same video, I'm not sure though. But I got the log splitter right there, the new conveyor. It's gonna dump up there. I gotta move all those pipes before I start splitting wood, obviously. And then once I get a big pile, I will stack it in a new firewood shed. But let me turn over here. And you see I got 1/3 of a trailer already loaded. I think it's a 12-foot trailer, 7x12. And then I'm gonna do all this small stuff because I definitely know that season and that's gonna start rotting real quick if I don't do it, if I don't burn it this year. Some of it's already starting to get plunked because I had it sitting on the ground. And then I'm gonna start working on this big pile, the big stuff here. This stuff I need the excavator log splitter for once I cut it. So I'm gonna have to make quarters out of it, out of that piece there, or out of with that machine there I made. But for now, we're gonna fire up the chainsaw, get all set up, and fill this trailer up as much as possible. Well, as you have it, that's all I have left of the stuff I wanted to get to today. And guess what? My pull cord broke. Right there. So I'm done for the day. The sun is going over the hill over there. So it's gonna get dark and really cold real quick. It's already high 20s, I'd say. But I got the trailer, I'd say 80%, 90% loaded. I wanted just to get that stuff cut and thrown in the trailer so I don't have to move it twice, but I'm too lazy to bust out another chainsaw or to fix that tonight. So I am going to start picking up, and I'll be back out here tomorrow morning. So I don't have to do too much, but I'll be able to finish that up in the morning. And then I'll probably back the trailer back into the spot here, which is going to be right where the tripod is actually. So I could just pull the logs right off of it. And then I'm going to, before I start doing that, before I start splitting the wood, I got to clear all this off, and that stuff will be moved very easily. And my goal is to get a big pile right there. And then just take my time and stack it in the woodshed. So it's all super dry, and it's all covered in dirt because all the leaves and debris built up over the 2 years in that corner, and it's all covered in dirt and rocks. So I also wasted that chain, but I'm not going to put another new chain on until all this is cut. I'm going to save another new chain for all the big stuff. But before I do the big stuff, I want to split all that. All right, well, let me get organized here, and that way I can still see, and can't really feel my fingers. So obviously tomorrow I will fix the chainsaw, or if I get back early enough tonight, I'll try to fix the chainsaw. First thing in the morning, I'll finish that little spot up, load that up into the trailer, back the trailer up to the log splitter. And then to show you how low I am on firewood, in my metal bin over there that I used last year, I have 1 row left of firewood. So that's a 14-foot aluminum by 6-foot tube, pipe, whatever you want to call it, tank. And I have 1 row left. So that's why I'm scrambling for the firewood. Not scrambling, but you know, priority. And so that'll be a good amount. Oh, look at the clouds. That'll be a nice amount once I get that split. So that's what I figure. All right, well, I think that's going to be it. I moved the truck over here so I can get out with the Expedition, and my kid has plenty of room in the driveway. Well, guys, I'm going to call this a video. Every time I go to get production done, for some reason, something always breaks, and now is my pull cord, which is an easy fix, I hope, because I have a 029 also sitting in the garage that I can use a pull cord on, because tomorrow's Sunday and I don't think I'm going to get any parts. But I got that trailer, I'd say 80-90% full, and I only have that little bit of small stuff, limbs basically. It looks like most of it's like 6 inches or smaller, so that'll be taken care of first thing in the morning. Then I could back the trailer over to the log splitter and the conveyor, and then I can clear off that platform up there and hopefully get some logs split tomorrow. We will see. All right, well, I'm gonna call it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave comments just to keep the language clean. I want to keep it a kid-friendly channel. Kid-friendly channel. My lips are numb. It's like 25 degrees outside. All right, I will see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.